Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the house that poor decisions built. Saturdays at Derek's. I'm Mike.
And I'm another year older.
Yes, you are. You poor fucker.
Yeah, I'm creakier.
Yes. And
It's a little embarrassing at times.
And to celebrate your march to death, yesterday we went to see Fant4stic.
Or Fantastic Flop, as it might be called.
Fantastic is definitely not a word that should be associated with it.
Yeah, no, it was a stinker.
No, but it had some redeeming stuff. I mean, the stuff at the very, very beginning was nice. And then there was the payoff at the end where it was over.
Yeah, the end was nice. I'm kind of bummed out because we stuck through the credits. Just in hopes that maybe...
Well, it's that Marvel habit.
Yeah. Maybe there would have been some redeeming quality
but there
involved.
wasn't.
But yeah,
there wasn't. Oh my god, that final fight scene was so awful.
Oh, it's so short.
The logic was just not there at all. I mean, it didn't make any fucking sense. And we went in knowing it was going to be bad. And we went and saw it anyway because, we wanted
a disaster film.
Well, we wanted something that we could review so we could whip out the new rating system that we had come up with. And it worked out really well for us in that regard. So,
ended up with a funny...
Yeah. No, it was...
Funny release. But if you want to watch our review of the movie, you can check it out. It'll be right here if you just click here maybe, and it'll lead you to it
like magic. Nerd magic.
Yeah. But yeah, that was disappointing, but that's tends to be kind of a track record for movies that come out on my birthday.
Yeah. It's because Hollywood hates you.
Well, yeah. Well, we've had this and G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra, which wasn't as bad as this, but still, or was worse than this. This wasn't as bad as G.I. Joe, I don't think. But G.I. Joe just left me freaking angry.
Well, yeah, they made Baroness a good guy. That if I'd have known that, I'd have never bothered in the first place.
Yeah.
I mean, half of my childhood fantasies are built off of that.
I like the bad girl.
That's right.
That's
why I'm still single.
That was another movie that we went into kind of going, this probably isn't going to be very good.
No, well, it hadn't looked very promising. I'll be honest, trailers kind of inform my level of enthusiasm for a movie before I get there. I don't know, a sheep or something, but like G.I. Joe, the trailer was kind of chitty and confusing, and it looked like they were adding in a bunch of crap that didn't need to be there, and it almost felt like character and organization names were the only real nod towards the cartoon of my youth and the comic books of my youth.
And that's one of the things that I thought was a problem, is that they tended to go with a cartoon style story, and I really think they should have went with a comic book style story.
No, I mean, if you're going to change things for a live action movie, you should have really made, the whole thing, I don't know, more believable, I guess.
Yeah, well, the comic books tend to be more realistic and more adult oriented.
Yeah.
Whereas the cartoon
motherfuckers died in the comic book.
Yeah, the cartoon tended to be like a lot of flashing lights and...
Yeah, and no one ever got injured except for in the movie, and there was destroyed equipment. There's a lot of destroyed equipment, but nobody got hurt on the cartoon show, ever.
We were talking yesterday about the possibilities of, if you're going to do a G.I. Joe film and you want to do the Rise of Cobra, instead of making Cobra a military organization, make it like a religious organization.
Yeah.
Where they're trying to find relics and stuff based on the snake cult. And that could have made it for an interesting movie, I think. Cobra Law being like the big ending of that cycle.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
And-
that being the basic.
And Cobra, rather than being a military organization, they're a religious organization, so they're trying to convert people that are well placed in government and business, and you know, and that would make more sense for a lot of the characters, you know, because then you've suddenly got, you know, Baroness, who is aristocracy. You've got Tomax and Zaymot, who you know, owned a multinational conglomerate. You know, you have a lot more opportunities for a more interesting and more believable organization at that point.
And you know, it gives you the opportunity to use these characters' zealousy to motivate them, as opposed to just world domination. Or I don't even know what Cobra Commander's desire, revenge against Duke, I guess.
I don't know.
I don't know. That movie was just sad.
The whole thing was just kind of weird and confusing. But anyway.
But yeah, on the other hand, side of things, though, we've also gotten Guardians of the Galaxy came out right before my birthday.
Right.
Last year.
But not on your birthday, so it doesn't
not
count
on
as
my
one
birthday.
of the on your birthday movies.
Yeah, on my birthdays. But, you know, that gives me a little bit more hope for Suicide Squad.
It's well, but
Because thinking about it, I was really starting to worry about...
It goes back to the whole informed by a trailer thing, though. The trailers for Guardians of the Galaxy, man, I got the vibe, I got the sense of humor, I got the sense of adventure. It looked like a movie I wanted to see, and I went in having the expectations from that trailer, and it did not disappoint at all. You know, and then Fantastic Four, which we did a reaction to one of their trailers, and the best I could muster for the trailer was,
But the trailers for that were really weird, too, because half the stuff that was in the trailers wasn't even in the movie.
yeah.
Yeah, it was just really weird. It was
It
a really weird movie.
It was
going
strange. A
experience.
lot of Fantastic Four felt to me like it was a long first act.
Yeah, it was.
It really felt like the whole movie was establishing work. Mm-hmm. And then suddenly there's, you know, bang, a payoff right at the end. There's like a 10-minute and a piss poor 10-minute payoff at the end.
Too much of a.
Well, it was an attempted payoff. It was the one real, what I would call a real action sequence in that movie. I mean, there was the car race, and there was a little bit of the footage on the TV of Ben fucking some shit up, and the little bit of, the Johnny Storm blowing up the drone.
Yeah.
And there was like footage of their practice sessions in that weird underground bunker thing that they were never allowed to leave.
Yeah. Well, there was, and we don't want to get too much into spoilers, but
it wasn't really action. It was just kind of, showing off a little bit of effects work, and that was really it. It had nothing to do with the story,
driving
really.
the story, yeah. Josh Trank has gone on record as saying that this wasn't the movie that he made. He tweeted it. I guess he hasn't really gone on record. He tweeted it, and I guess he deleted the tweet right away. But he's like, a year ago, I had a good movie that wouldn't have bombed by critics.
Right.
That everybody would have loved.
And I can understand. We've all heard the stories about movies being noted to death and studio interference, and then stepping in and changing shit. And it sounds like the claim here is that the studio showed up and took a fucking butcher knife to the script and just whacked out big fucking sequences that were supposed to be in the thing, and then said, "Here, shoot this." And okay, I can believe that a studio will do that. And here's my problem. There's two things that I would say to Josh Trank in response to that. Well, three, really. One, why didn't you fucking quit? The minute they butchered that script and it wasn't the movie that you agreed to make anymore, why didn't you just say, hey, fuck you, get on the internet, go creative differences, and tip the fuck out the door? 2, you still shot that shit. That footage was footage that you shot. So you're still responsible for that. And there was one other thing that I'm suddenly flaking on.
But at the end of the day, take responsibility for your work. If something's going on and you know it's not going to turn out right, then you have to be responsible enough to step away from it and say, no, this isn't right.
You should have quit. Should have quit or should have fought for the script. You know, if the studio didn't have faith in the movie that you wanted to make and you were absolutely confident that that movie was going to be excellent, you should have fucking fought for it or you should have fucking walked away.
And, you know, I think a lot of it might have been, because he's only done one other movie besides this one, I think, just Chronicle.
Yeah, but wasn't he also offered a fucking Marvel movie? Apparently people in Hollywood were impressed enough with Chronicle that he's getting offered pictures. I think he could have gotten another movie.
Yeah.
Maybe it wouldn't have been as big a budget thing as
another thing
Fantastic
is that
Four.
There was a problem where the studio had supplied him with a house and the dog chewed up the furniture and then he wasn't showing up to the set and stuff. All this drama that was going on during the filming.
Possibly.
I don't know how much of that was due to the fact that he was just pissed off because they weren't, but he didn't want to quit.
See, and that sounds like, I don't know. It sounds rumory to me. I can't say one way or the other whether all of that shit actually happened. Could be his dogs went batshit.
Yeah.
But $100,000 worth of damage?
Yeah. But either way...
Were you giving them crack? And were those dogs smoking meth before they...
Well, they were probably chewing woodwork or something. There might have been like a lot of trim and stuff on the house that they were chewing up and scratching.
Oh, or they pissed on hardwood floors.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty much you got to rip out hardwood floor.
Yeah.
But either way, I don't know how much consequence that really happens. But yeah, we've read the rumors about him not showing up on set and not taking shit seriously. And if that movie ended up being bad because the director was unprofessional, well, then you still have to take responsibility for that. If those are just rumors and they're complete bullshit, and what he claims happened, then... all right, but you still have to take responsibility because you still stuck in for the movie. You still shot all that fucking footage.
Yeah.
The only thing you could possibly claim at that point is that you had shot this super excellent movie, and then the studio turned around and re-edited the shit out of it behind your back.
Mm-hmm. Which, from what reports are coming out, it sounds like that might have been part of what happened. But yeah, either way, Josh Trank, stand up and take some responsibility. You had at least a hand in this.
Yeah, right.
So.
Yeah. This episode was not supposed to be Fantastic Four movie review part 2, but it somehow turned into it. But so we should just move on a little bit because I know you wanted to talk about Gen Con.
Yeah, Gen Con was last week. And there were some interesting announcements, mostly from Fantasy Flight, but some of them also came from Upper Deck, at least as far as I'm interested in. Mm-hmm. Upper Deck has announced 2 more Legendary box sets. The first one being Big Trouble in Little China, which came a little bit out of left field. Right.
It's, it's a really old property, and I really love the original, and this is probably a tie-in to the remake.
Yeah. Hopefully not. Hopefully they still have the old characters and stuff in this, but...
Right. But even then, it could still be something of a tie-in just to remind people of the property and, try and get them excited for the remake.
And then the other one is very exciting, but kind of more what we were expecting is Firefly.
Yeah.
So Firefly Legendary should be a lot of fun.
Yeah. No, just about anything Firefly is going to get me excited, unless your dog takes a shit that looks like Serenity.
Yeah.
And I'll still check that out.
Still Google it. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
I'll and share that on Facebook, man.
You could either put them like in with the Marvel characters.
Yeah, the crossover opportunities.
Or have them in the Aliens universe.
Yeah.
Fight Xenomorphs. That would be kind of fun too.
Yeah, kind of. But you know, who
Mixing
other
Reavers and Xenomorphs together. Or Predators.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of cool opportunities there. And then Fantasy Flight announced 2 new games that they're super excited about. Runebound, which is a 3rd edition, I believe.
Okay.
And it takes place in the same universe as Descent, but it's more of an overworld adventure type
Rather
game.
than a dungeon crawler.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the other one is the Warhammer Quest adventure card game, which is a card game probably along the lines of the Rune Lords type game, but set in the Warhammer universe, and loosely based on the old Warhammer Quest board game.
Yeah, the one we had where they had Shylock the moneylender and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that should be pretty cool. Other than that, they had some expansions announced. Big box expansions for both Descent and Imperial Assault. The Imperial Assault is Hoth.
Okay.
And that should be pretty cool because you get Wampas.
Oh, nice.
And then there's Wave 8 for X-Wing got announced.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to have a couple of ships from the Rebels line.
Yeah.
Plus a couple more bounty hunters. And you were watching.
The video the other day with the TIE fighters
they
and
announced the Imperial gunship, Imperial assault carrier.
Yeah.
Which has detachable, and it looks like a couple of the ships in this expansion, the Ghost and the Imperial carrier, has detachable ships.
Yeah. And that looked really cool. Those were nice models.
And the one that I got super excited about, was really hard to find information on, is Eldritch Horror Under the Pyramids, which is another big box expansion for that.
Oh.
So it'll be like Under the Mountain.
Yeah.
Where
Under the Mountain. That game's gonna get to the point where we're gonna need another table.
Well, the nice thing about these big box expansions, the board that comes with them, only gets used when you use the Elder that comes with it.
Yeah.
The old god.
Okay.
So you don't have to have like the whole. It's not like Arkham where you had the whole fucking shebang out.
Yeah.
And you covered up 4 tables.
And 4 days.
Yeah. Oh my god. Thank God Eldritch Horror is a little bit shorter.
Yeah. Right.
A little bit, like an hour or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, that got me excited and juiced up from Gen Con. Other than that, they had a 9% increase over last year. So
really?
I think it ended up being like 61.
Are they still talking about it coming back?
I don't know because
Gen Con used to be in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And I could never make it because when Gen Con was in Milwaukee, I was a teenager with no car.
Yeah, or money.
Yeah, money important. And then they took it away.
I would love to actually try and check it out, but I get kind of like crowd sick.
Yeah.
When there's that many people around and I'm standing shoulder to shoulder, I get a little fidgety. And I'm not too big on crowds. So I'm kind of worried because I watched the video of there being 60,000 people and having experienced Comic-Con last year. I don't know how comfortable I would be.
Mm-hmm.
It'd still be fun to check it out. I'd probably want to go on like a Sunday, like the last day of the show.
Yeah.
So that was not anywhere near as crowded. All the people who were super excited about it.
Sure, but all the good shit's gone.
Yeah. Well, I'm fine. I'm mostly fine with that. A lot of those guys take most of the stuff where they're gonna have a higher quantity.
Yeah.
Unless it's like the independent guys.
Right on. Well. Anyway, our time is up. So.
Yep. So, well, thanks for joining us again, and we'll hope to see you next week.
Yes. Hope, pray, desire.
Toodles.
Yes. Toodles. Toodles to you all.
Oodles of toodles.